Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Hey everybody, this is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove, part of the InterTalk Radio family. I'm sitting here with the amazing band of Mr. Michael McDonald, or Mike McD, and I want to pass the microphone. We got a kind of a quick little consortium here. We had a little time constraints, but we're going to make the best of it. So I want to have you guys start out by giving your name and your position with the band.
This is Dan Needham. I'm linebacker.
That's it.
No, I play the drums.
Mark Douthit, sax and keyboards.
Pat Coyle, B3 and keyboards.
Drea, vocalist and all-around every woman.
You dig?
Jacob Lowry, bass and vocals.
Bernie Chiavelli, guitar, vocals, and mouth organ.
Hey.
So, guys, bottom line is here. We're here at Thornton Winery in Temecula, California, on the Thornton Winery Jazz Series. I've been dear friends of Michael since, how long, Michael? Since 1990. And we're going to actually try to piggyback this on Michael's and Amy's interview. So basically we're going to just talk about what's going on, what's coming up. I know this is going to be your last show of the Southern California area. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. And just going back to Dan, how long have you been with the band?
Oh, wow. I guess officially with the band, maybe, 3 years now, something like that? I think, in fact, interestingly, I think 3 or 4 years ago, my first gig with Michael was at this winery.
I dig.
My very first. But I've known Michael. I've worked with you, since the 90s. Worked on a couple of records together back then.
And you took over Prater's place, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Yvonne's?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Love the groove, man. Everybody's throwing that the best thing behind it. But when you're working with this kind of a genius right here behind you, it's not too
Just
hard to do.
trying to keep up, you know.
That's all we can do in our advanced ages. Right?
Look at the look on your face.
It's all good.
It's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, and so, and you're happy where you're at? You're.
Well, I mean, this is a good time to bring it up, Michael.
He's not keeping up.
Exactly. Got some good news and bad news for you.
No, I mean, my gosh, it's a dream gig. Really, it's amazing music, great musicians. It's.
Now you're back in Nashville.
Yeah, I mean, not right now.
Right.
In Southern California.
No, pardon the sense of humor here.
I've lived in. I've been 20-some years now in. Went down to Nashville for college and stayed. So I've been there for a long time.
Well, man, welcome aboard. Thank you for
you.
being part of this itself.
Good to be here.
Why don't you pass it over to Mark there? Mark, welcome, brother.
Thank you.
It's good to see you. My dear friend of mine, Vince Denham, was in your position for years.
I know that.
And big shoes to fill, man, but you filled them and then some. So
thank you very much.
We appreciate part of this. We like the whole vibe itself of what you guys bring on. As I say with most of the interviews on One-on-One, is there a song of Michael's? Is there a song that you guys have in your repertoire on the set list that you look forward to playing, and or a song that if you don't play again, you're happy with?
Well,
You like that?
actually, my favorite song of the whole set is one that I don't even play on. It's what we open the show with, Peace. It's just such an incredibly gorgeous song. That's my favorite song.
I love it, man. And you're strictly on reeds itself, but are you? I didn't notice you're playing keys also on certain songs.
Yeah, but I use the term loosely when I'm sitting next to him.
Professor Coyle?
Yes. Yeah.
I understand.
Just little bells and whistles, you know.
You know, and I want to ask a couple things also to Pat. Pat, somebody asked me on our website, with the backline of on this tour, is the B3 your B3? Is that coming with you, or is this something you guys pick up in every city?
It's a. Well, turn the phones off, Drea. It's a rental from SIR.
Oh, it is. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
One of our big sponsors. Absolutely.
And actually, I wish I was using Mike's B3. He has the best B3 in the world.
Reason for that? Seasoned?
I don't know. Did it used to be at Sunset Sound, Mike? Your B3?
It was.
Yeah.
Sunset Sound for years.
It
was played on many big records.
So. Yeah.
You know, and
every time we rehearsed at his house, I'm going, I want that B3. So.
And I also want to jump in and say, too, man, I love your work on Amy's album. You know,
thank you.
Amy McDonald, Holland.
Fortunate enough to get to do that.
Yeah, A Light of My Path, man. We've obsessed over it, man. So we got to get that to the forefront. So thank you for your talents on that.
Thank you.
Put it over to the young lady over here, because we're going to ask that same question of songs that you don't like to play or you miss or would like to play more. That's actually, Dan's the one who told me to tell you that, so you can be mad at me. Don't be. Okay.
No, I like them all. Yeah.
That's a very diplomatic, young lady.
Yes, you know.
It's all good, though, man.
Are you watching me? He's watching. No, really, I like them all. Just hearing his voice every night.
Yeah. Isn't that good?
Yeah.
Make sure that $20 bill goes a far way right there.
No, I was more than 20.
Oh, is that good girl? Absolutely. So now, the being the only female on the tour, difficult or
Yes.
like your brothers?
Yes, very difficult.
So a lot of ribbing.
Yes.
But also you have
Yeah,
your big
a lot of
brothers
putting
watching
the
out for you,
toilet
though,
seat
right?
down, you know.
Yeah,
the
well,
whole
please.
thing, you know.
Physically the only female. Now, emotionally, I feel like
I love it. No.
It's a Barbara Walters moment, exactly.
No, it is like a lot of brothers and, you know,
Yeah, man,
especially.
I loved what you did at the Newport Jazz Festival when we. That's when I actually interviewed Michael and Amy, and I had to get out there to see you, man, because you killed it.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, it was like that. It was that run, and then watching you with Cher.
Oh.
You know,
I thought I was going to pass out.
If we can look like that at 70,
yes.
sign us up.
Oh,
you know
my
what
gosh.
I'm saying? Because it's
yeah, she's beautiful.
How was that actually singing with her? Even though she forgot, did she forget her verse?
No. She was. It was really such a last minute thing. She wasn't really prepared to sing the second verse, so she just came out and wanted to sing along on the background. So.
Now, was that planned? Did you know she was coming?
Well, not really. I mean, we knew. I was told just before going out that she was staged right, and so I kept looking all night. I was probably looking right at her, but I didn't. To see if I saw her. And then when she came out, I was, excited to see her. She actually sang with us years ago. When we toured, we opened for her. She came out one night and sang with us.
And it's a kind of a cool segue here because of all the different sizes of venue you guys play at. Again, the Greek being 9,000 people, and then something like here at the Winery at Thornton. Is there a preference of a size of venue you guys like playing? I mean, versus sound on stage, which you're hearing?
Yeah, for me, I like smaller venues because you're able to connect more with
the people immediately.
And the bigger ones, it's just harder to make that, to have that interaction between you and the audience, that exchange.
Now, during soundcheck, I noticed you guys were still using wedges. Is anybody in here on a venue this small? Okay.
We're all.
And going back to you real quick, are you playing through a click at all, or?
Yeah, I'll use a click. Yeah, for reference, for sure. Yeah, it's great. Keeps everything consistent, particularly when like the emotions start running high. Right. Then it seems like perceptions of time change when emotion is injected into a situation. So it's always good to have a solid reference. Nice click.
And I ask that because most of the work I do, studio-wise itself, I have all the tracks sent to me with no click. It irritates me beyond belief. Our dear friend of ours in the network is John the Sugarfoot Moffat. In fact, we're doing a Michael Jackson tribute on the 29th of Michael's birthday, so we're going to be having some really cool things. Yeah, I had a chance to spend 3.5 hours with Foot in Las Vegas when he was playing with Cameo, his old band. And so we sat and talked just about anecdotes and stuff he did, and he says he would have married the click if he could have. Because the bottom line is the click don't lie, and that was, he goes, everybody else in the band can lie, the click doesn't. So that's everybody's personal opinion. And I noticed also back to Pat. Pat, you have headphones on when you're playing.
Yes.
What's running through that? That your mix?
Yeah, it's my personal mix. Yeah.
And again, everybody can talk about it. What don't you like in the monitors? What don't you want to hear?
Mistakes.
Oh, there, right there. Perfect.
For me,
Right,
for my
right.
mistakes. No, I just get a general mix of, we've got a really good monitor engineer, Nick Saldano, and it sounds like a record in my phones, which is kind of what I like. I think most of us are studio musicians, and that's what we're used to.
Absolutely,
it's just dialing up the perfect mix. So.
Pass it over to Jacob for a second. I wanted to Jacob, would you be considered the new boy in town?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. It's
almost a year now.
How's it feel?
Oh, it's great. Being a bass player with those songs and that voice.
You dig?
It's just some classic bass lines.
And you no problem locking with Mr. Needham here?
I've known this guy a long time, and for some reason, the first time we played together in a session, it was like we've been playing together for decades.
Isn't that cool, though? It's that whole matter of getting the bass and the drums locking in.
It seemed like we listened to the same music growing up or something. I don't know.
So, and again,
works.
for patrons, because when we get to Bernie here, Bernie's the old boy in the band, and I mean that as a compliment, the oldest member of the band. Now, they didn't come out at all. How did let me rephrase that. We'll fix that in editing.
You could have left boy.
Go ahead. Exactly. That's right. Bernie Chivarelli,
Thanks
how
for
are
that.
you? From one Italian to another one, how are you, brother?
Good, man.
How long have you been with Michael?
Fine wine.
Thank you, Mike. This year's been 28 years.
28 years, man.
Yeah.
You know, and all the stuff that you've done, I mean, with Michael over the years, also, too, with Amy, and so on, the beautiful writing you did on her album.
Thank you.
I talk about that album a lot because I'm obsessed with, you know, A Light on My Path. That, and for everybody who's over the age of 50, that album hits home. I mean, it really, really does. I have a hard time believing that Michael wrote, We're All Strangers Here.
Yeah.
You know, and that song wipes me out. In fact, I was talking to Amy yesterday, and it's just that whole part about, you know, who are we when we look in that mirror? Are we still, I'm going on 33 years of marriage, you're going on 33 or not 33 years already. You know, everybody, you know, keep playing up there. Amy, I'll get back to you on this. But it's a feeling of knowing that you still have what you had when you said I do. You know, we're not the easiest people to get along with as musicians. And so anybody that lasts, you know, that long of a marriage. Now, Bernie, how long have you been with your better half?
Next month will be 25 years.
Yeah, see, so it works, man. It works.
Yeah. Thank you.
It works. So with that said, yeah, the obligatory golf clap. What's coming up with Bernie Chivarelli, other than Michael and Amy? What's coming up with your own situations?
Talk about your record.
Yeah, I've been.
Yeah, I know. I brought that up for a reason. I
finished-
love the album.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you. I finished a record called One Bright Moment. I wrote the song with Mike, the title cut.
3 weeks ago that came out. 4 weeks ago. Yeah, I think
About a
you put it
month
out.
ago, yeah. So
loving
I've
it,
been
man. I love
pushing
it.
that. Thanks.
And I bought it. And I
Oh.
bought it. Yeah, it's like that's the
I
whole
like to hear it.
vibe.
Thank
It's
you
like
very
you know,
much.
my favorite line, 3 words: "Stop stealing music, people. We're not doing this for our health." You know, the bottom line is. So every time I say when I pick up the album, they're going, "Well, like Amy." Amy goes, "Well, I could have sent you one." I said, "Why?" You know, you go out and do it, man. You stream it, and it's.
A lot of kids these days don't understand that concept, though, because they've always gotten it free, you know, or it's always been downloadable. It's so easy. They don't understand the concept that people actually have a livelihood and work their whole lives to get
Right.
to the point where you write music and release it. I hope it changes, you know.
Well, and speaking of changes, you know, the music business seems to change. You know, it used to be yearly, now it's changing on a monthly basis. You know, I'm proud to say that when you download from iTunes, you're paying for it.
Yeah.
A lot of the record labels now are giving you a chance, the digital download of a liner note, which I don't know about you guys, but I love to sit down and see my friends on it. And you know,
Steve Picaro's album was like that, which is also a great album. He had a liner note PDF because I was wondering who plays on this, who plays on that.
well, the only bad thing about that, Bernie, is that I've seen liner notes, and I realized the fact that I was called for that gig originally and didn't get it, and I see Lenny Castro's name on it, and so on and so forth. And someone said not too long ago, you know, how do you feel about that? I said, man, if I was on every album I was asked to be on, I'd be on every album I was asked to be on. So, you know, there's that want and there's willing, but there's also, too, there's that producer, the leader of a band that hires a said amount of players, not because of any other reason, that he knows that he's going to get the maximum out of them. You know, and I think it's cool that Mike has always used members of his band where a lot of artists are going on the outside. They're using studio cats, you know, and I don't understand that. But again,
it depends on the track and depends on the song and the producer who they're comfortable working with too, you know.
But I always say, but you know, why produce something that you can't reenact live that you can't put in the studio? So I mean, it's like, you know, I guess everything is to each his own, one way or the other.
Yeah. I mean, the studio's a different animal than live, too, you know.
Absolutely.
You know?
You know, there's a lot of guys that revel on stage live and they suck in the studio and vice versa, and there's very few guys out there that can do the best of both.
The great thing about this band is that Michael gives us a lot of freedom to interpret the songs, not necessarily like they were recorded, you know. We try to be truthful, but at the same time, it gives us a lot of freedom.
Well, I asked Mike in Newport, the fact is that, is he the type of leader that has his thumb down on the players? But he said no. He goes, he hires the players that know that he doesn't have to have the thumb down.
Well, I don't know about that.
My thumb's in there somewhere. But
That's where I was trying to go.
Boom. Hey, with that said, you guys, you know, as a whole, we all want to stay optimistic, but how do you feel, you know, let's say in the next 5 years, Dave Grohl said he firmly believes there's going to be record stores again. He's firmly going to believe there's going to be record stores again. It's that Tuesday release to go to Tower Records and sit there and rifle through the bins, and just that smell of that whole vibe, you know. What is your feelings overall about the music business in general? Are you like I interviewed Al Jarreau 3 weeks ago. Al said he's worried. He's 76 years old. He goes, I have a right to be worried because the younger set aren't sweating. You know, you can't make a career out of being the YouTube favorite, although many people have. But through that, many people fail because they haven't got their asses kicked. You know, they haven't, smelt failure. You know, they haven't been the road dogs that we all are to a certain level. You know, so with that said, do you guys feel optimistic about the business? Are you in it for how long is this going to run?
Speaking, I'll pass this on, but
Please.
Speaking for myself, I'm going to play music until I can't, whether there's a music business or not, because I've done it all my life.
Right.
As far as the music business, I have no idea. I mean, I think in 5 years we may not see record stores. I mean, to me, that's because it's all becoming digital. There is a rise of vinyl.
Very cool.
That's a cool thing. I just don't know if that's going to be enough to sustain record stores. I don't know. As far as chains, maybe boutique stores.
That'll be a more audiophile kind of business.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like expensive stereos used to be,
Here's somebody else.
and how people that really used to dust their records off and stuff like that.
I'm going to grab me that mic here, Michael. I'm going to give this to you for a second. And let's talk to the boss for a second, even though we've talked many times itself. Thank you for being part of this again. I can't thank you from the bottom of our hearts what this means to us. It's because of artists like you that we've tripled our ratings since last month. Wow. And it's getting stronger and stronger. We've got great talents. And because having you on the show, having Al Jarreau on the show, Kenny G's and the Don Felders, is the reason why it gets there. Because you can do a multitude of interviews, but it's from an interviewer to a musician. It's not a musician to a musician that knows what it takes to get there, what it takes to stay there, and what it takes to be relevant. So with that said, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys itself. Thanks for having us here. Thanks for being a brother and sister to everything else. Don't take their bullshit anymore. It's the bottom line itself, power. So, Michael, you know what? This is the end of this Southern California.
Actually, we got one more. Actually.
Okay.
We're playing
in
Ohio. Yeah. And we've had a good time out here in Southern Cal. We've enjoyed it being out here. The weather's much. What's to argue about? It's great.
Exactly. I live out here. I'm 10 minutes from here, and it's like kind of 2 blocks from the sun when it gets really, really hot out here. So, and Michael, I wish you the best of health.
Thank you, man. You too.
Wish longevity. I thank you for making me part of your legacy or help me to be part of the legacy.
Thank you, Jackie.
And,
thanks for coming out.
So everybody, I'm going to say we're going to be able to piggyback this interview on Michael's interview with Amy when we get back in the studio. I want to thank all my boys from Intertalk Radio and thank Thornton Winery and. Thanks for being part of it, guys.
Thank you, man. Amy sends her love to you.
Always. Yeah. Guys, thank you very much. Girls, thank you
man.
very much. Kick ass today. Do what you guys do best, all right? Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove, Intertalk Radio. Peace through music.